You're listening to the Jam Price Show all about movies. And today, my guest is award winning writer, producer, director, and actress, Rachel Suissa. And we are going to be discussing her new film entitled Greek Mothers Never Die. Welcome to the show, Rachel.
Hello, Jen. Hello, everybody. Very happy to be on the show.
I'm happy to have you here. This film is so much fun. I really, 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 truly enjoyed it. It was one of those it just takes you, it's just fun on so many different levels because there's a lot to it. It's not just one thing, it's many things. And you just feel good after you watch it, which is the kind of thing we need right now more than ever. So let's talk about, you wrote this, you produced it, you directed it, and you starred in it. How did the idea for Greek Mothers Never Die come about?
It came from my mom. It's a story that is really based on my Greek mother, and it's a movie based on our relationship. And it started as a one-woman show because my mom is a very colorful character. She's very charismatic. She's very overbearing and at the same time very generous. And she's involved in my everyday life. And she wants to know at what time I wake up, what time I eat, if, she's very, yeah. And it was like that since I was a child. And I thought that one day it would stop, but it never stopped. And I'm pretty much sure that if my mom is still with us, but if one day she was going to go upstairs, she would not. She would just stay here and keep haunting me. I mean, that's obviously what's going to happen. So one day when I was in my 20s, I was an actress. That's how I started. I was always writing on the side, but I started as an actress. And my friends, I was always telling them all the crazy things that my mom would do to me or say to me. And they said to me, "You should write about it. You should do a one-woman show. It would be awesome, and you could play your mom and tell the world all those crazy things." And that's how it started. I did it for fun at first, and the one-woman show really worked very well. And then I thought, okay, now we should take it to a higher level. What would happen if this mom that haunted this daughter and since the day she was born, what would happen if even after death she keeps haunting her? Only this time she's a ghost, so no sleep. She never needs to take a breath, and she's 24 hours haunting her. So that's what gave me the idea of Greek Mothers Never Die. And I always wanted to write and direct movies. So that's why I did it as a feature movie. Yeah.
Is this your first film as a director?
So it is my second film. Uh, I thought this would be my first because it's the most personal one, and usually that's how it goes. You take a very personal project that this spark that stays with you, and that is so personal that even if it's really hard to be on the path of making a first movie, that carries you, till the end. But I made a pause on it because in France, before I moved to America, I had an offer that I couldn't refuse. It was a wonderful offer. It was to adapt and write a script from a book that is a masterpiece of French literature that is called Dangerous Liaisons. And so I adapted the book, and I direct the movie for Netflix. It was a Netflix original, but produced by Eleanor Daly and Eduardo Lachemette. And Eleanor Daly is also the co-producer on Greek Mothers Never Die. See, so it's a full circle. And but my first movie was that it was exactly the opposite of Greek Mothers. It was the big machine. It was a very big budget for a first movie. No one should. My DP said no one should have so much money for a first feature. So that was my first experience, and it was wonderful. And the movie had a global release in 190 countries, and it stayed in the top 10 for 1 month in 72 countries. So it was really quite the accomplishment for a first movie. And then I moved to America, and for me, it was time, to explore something different. I always romanticized and loved the indie world, the maverick spirit, and to be able to really do love project passions. And so it was obvious that for me, Greek Mothers Never Die would be my first indie movie, and also because I want my mom to be able to experience that movie before she becomes a ghost. So it was very important to do it fast. And so that's I called Eleanor Daly. I say, hey, this time it's a low budget movie from the heart. You already know the script. Are you in? And she said, of course I'm in. And that's how everything started.
So, what did your mother think of this movie when she saw it?
She she loved it, but it was different steps, First, my mom was there for. I did a Zoom with all the team because the actors were in all different states and countries. The male lead is American French, and so he lives in France. Abby Miner, I mean, so Simon Rerol lives in France. Abby Miner, who is the role of Ella, the lead, she lives in Oklahoma. And then we had cast from Texas, from Tampa, from New York, from LA. So we made a Zoom, to all connect and hear the script. And my mom was there because one of the actresses is my sister-in-law, and she was in her house. And so at the end of the Zoom, that was the first time that my mom from A to Z was listening to the script and seeing the actors. And so I said to her, full of hope, I said to her, so did you like the movie? I mean, I hadn't shot it yet, but and she said, I loved everything. The actors, they were wonderful, but you are not going to act like that, right? And I said, what do you mean?
As mothers can do.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. You're not going to do me ridiculous like that, like a clown, dramatic, and and I said, but yes, that's you. That's how you are. And she said, I'm not like that. I don't have a strong accent like that. And I swear that this is something I wrote down that day, and it is in the movie now. You can see it in one of the scenes, and she is like that. Actually, I'll go farther. One of the person that was part of the cast that I know since I'm 10 years old called me after and said, I really liked what you did with your mom, Eva, but I have to say that you kind of downplayed her, huh? A little. She's way more dramatic. I said, thank you. Thank you. See, that's the first step, right? Of the movie. Then when I said to my mom, now I'm going to shoot the movie, she said, how are you going to shoot the movie in 17 days? You're going to die. Your back is going to hurt. How are you going to take care of your kids? And I was like, okay, but I'm still gonna do it, And then she saw the movie and she really liked it. I recorded her watching the movie, so
Oh,
I
did
could
you?
so I could
That'd
have
be
her
fun.
reactions. And my mom, I was really looking forward for the very dramatic moment. In the movie, there is obviously a dramatic moment because, as we know, I mean, the pitch, we know in the pitch that in one point, the overbearing mom passes away very suddenly. And when the daughter thinks that she's free forever, actually she's not. The mom comes back to hunt her. And so, but that's quite a dramatic moment, when she passes. And I was thinking, it must be so intense for my mom to see me, her daughter, dying, but still being her, and being buried. Myself, I cry when I say it because I think of my mom. And I recorded my mom, and she had this puzzled look on her face, and she was like, and she wouldn't move. And I said, oh, she must be so emotional right now. And I said to her, what are you feeling, mom? And she said to me, the Greek priest that plays the role, he's so funny. Why did you cast him? And I said, really? The priest that is burying me right now? That's what you're thinking about? So my mom is the type of person that will never give you the answer that you are expecting when you are expecting it. But then, at the end of the movie, I looked discreetly and she was full of tears and crying and crying and crying. So I know she loved it. And when I asked her, I said, did you like the movie? She said, me, yes, I loved it because it was like being me and you on screen, but Is somebody going to be interested in that? Is somebody going to like it? People that are going to understand, you think? I was like, I hope so. So that was the reaction of my mom. And now she's very proud, of course, and she's happy that the movie's out and she's full of hope, you know.
It's wonderful. Well, it's definitely a movie that mothers and daughters need to go see together for sure. There's no question about it. And you don't have to be a Greek mother or a daughter that doesn't have a Greek mother that can relate to this film. Let's put it that way. I
Yes,
think you can
it's very universal, really. It's
totally.
really, truly, it's a movie about finding your own identity, growing. It's about love. It's about loss, of course, also because even if I'm giving it a comedic tone, there is some depth of drama there, and it's also a movie about hope. When you said that at the beginning that it's the kind of movie we need because it's uplifting, that was really my goal. It was that when you get out from this movie, you feel good inside. You know, you feel warm and hopeful that it's never too late to achieve your unfinished business with the ones you love. That's the goal.
Exactly, exactly. And whether for many people, whether their mothers have passed on, and obviously whether, not many mothers are coming back the way your mother does in this film, but you can still, uh, through the ethers, I think you could still, if you need to, heal your relationship with your mother. No
Yeah.
question about it.
Yes, she's personalized in this movie. The viewer can see what she can see. The viewer can see what my hero feels, basically. But I really am convinced that when people pass and that we love, it's more than staying in our heart and in our memories. I think that the same way that I'm sure that you experience this, a friend of yours is going to call you and say, I can't believe that I was just thinking about you at that moment. Well, that's the energy, that's the spirit. So I truly believe that our moms are my mom is still here, but my dad passed away, and so I experienced that loss, but I also experienced his presence, you know, and how he keeps helping me every day in my life, you know, and if and sometimes I ask for help and I'm like, oh, what should I do? And then I find the answer. And if my dad could speak, he would say, stop taking credit for the help I'm giving you, because that's coming from me. And you take all the credit. So I think that they're always here, you know? It's just never too late.
I agree with you. That's what's so fun about this movie for people who, yeah, exactly that. Because many of us have lost loved ones, whether it's our parents or other friends or whomever. And when you think about them, you hope many times you do. You feel their presence around you. So it's just so fun. How did you? You've got a really wonderful cast. How did you cast this film?
We simply went on backstage because I didn't have a proper casting director. My first AD slash my one of the actor in the movie, it's James Perthree. He's playing the role of Lefteris. Became also slash my casting director, and so he was able to put the movie in there, and I received so many great response, and I think there were maybe 3,000 actors total that respond from all the country, and so the only role that already I was pretty sure would be casted, it was the role of Nick, because Simon Rerol, it's really hard for me to say with an English accent, a French name. Simon Rerol, he was my lead in Dangerous Liaison, the Netflix movie. So I knew that I wanted to work again with him. We know each other so well. He knows exactly what I'm expecting, what I need. We speak the same language in literally also. And then the role of Abby Minor, I mean the role of Ella, it was very hard to find it because it needed to be a girl that can. The movie starts when she's a baby, So she's aging 25 years in the movie. And I needed this kind of a face and charisma and beauty and that Abby could be 15 and she could be 27, no problem, you know. Everyone can't be like that. And she just had this the first time I saw her was just the picture because on backstage first the actors will send the picture and the resume all that and then if we say yes then they'll do they'll send the tape, right? So she was one of the first one to send me the picture and immediately I felt something even if there was a lot of different girls, you know, that were perfect. And by the way, this is for all the actresses and actors. When you are not chosen in a role, it doesn't mean that you're not the best. It just means that the director has such a precise, particular, incrusted image of the role that he is just too narrow. He will not open the vision, but it's not personal. Never, 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 never. And so for Abby, she just clicked my vision and although I received a lot of castings after tapes, I was waiting for her, and she never sent her tape. I was like, every day I was calling Jake. I was saying to her, I say, um, "Did she came? Did it came through?" She was like, "No, no, we're gonna have to proceed without." I was like, "No, no," and so the last date came, you know,
That's
and
wild. Why did she wait so long to send her audition tape?
I maybe I'm trying to remember. Maybe she thought that it was that she wouldn't make it, you know. Maybe that she went back and forth. Maybe I don't. I never asked her that question, you know. It's very interesting, Abby. If you are listening to us or watching us, why did you wait so long? I think it's because like that it makes a nice story for me to say in the future. You know, that's destiny. But at the end, she was my only callback. And there were 300 girls that sent videos, and even if they were great, I only saw her. And it's the same for Sutton that plays Heather, and she's a very special actress. She brings this 80s feeling, you know, to the movie, like all those movies that we love to watch when we were younger. And like she could be like, you know, the best friend in 16 Candles, you know, she could be like, it's she's very special because she's very modern and at the same time she brings that past, that classic, you know, with her. And she was my only callback. So I'm someone that when I love, I know I love and I don't need to compare, you know. And then there were Carter Siriani, who played my husband. He was at the beginning he auditioned for another role, and I just thought that actor is so cool. You know, I think he would be so. And Wade Hunt William that plays the chief is the same. He auditioned for something else, but he had such a great charisma just like in theater, you know, when you know that you are building a theater troupe that needs to to have a great reciprocity, you know, to have a great feeling, you just know you want to work with those people, and then you adapt also the roles. And so that's what I did also with them. You know, I the Wade, he was auditioning for my husband, but at the end he played the chief. You know, so yeah, it was wonderful. All this casting is very special, and then all the actors that were not uh, from um, from backstage, which is half of the cast, was theaters actors that were living on my island. My island, I don't own it. It's just the island where I live. It feels like home, Amelia Island, and they were most of them were just theater or even amateurs, and they were just perfect. So it was their first experience on screen. It was
Well,
a
it
nice.
comes across, it just, you probably created a wonderful environment on the set because it comes across everybody's having fun. You feel that, you know, they're in their roles, but you could just sense that they're just all having fun with what they're doing, you know, the characters they're playing. Nick is absolutely adorable. I'd love to see him. I'm gonna go look for Dangerous Liaisons to watch him in that. But the actor who played your husband is also quite handsome and
Yes.
really good in the film. So did you actually when you because Ella, the Abby who plays Ella, had to sing, and obviously the man who played your husband had to sing. Was that part of the audition process to make sure that they could play instruments and sing also?
It's yes, it was important. I mean, every girl that was auditioning for Ella had to also sing a song. And with Carter, at first he was not auditioning for my husband. He was auditioning for the role of Nick. So it was not asked. But then when I saw it was clicking for Jack, then I asked him if he could sing and play guitar, and turns out that he could, you know. So everything, everything was in sync. And there are other songs. For instance, there is a song that I wrote in the movie with Wade, and it's the bedtime story, well, this was not a song originally. This was a scene where the chief was explaining, like, sometimes life can seem unfair, but watch out because it could have been way worse, And Wade, he's such a wonderful singer composer that I used that energy and transformed that scene. And we said, let's make a song. So during production, that happened because I wanted to it's a we build together with the actors, right? So there is what's written, but then it takes life with the energy of the actor, and I love that, to use that energy to make things better, And yeah, music is very
Well,
important in that
it
movie.
comes. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Say that again.
No, 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 no. I was just saying that, and music is a character in itself in the movie.
Yes. Well, it's a fun, fun, fun movie. Everyone, you seek out Greek Mothers Never Die. Where can people see this film?
So now it's out on platforms, but on demand. It's VOD. So you can find it on Apple TV, on Amazon Prime. You can find it on Fandango. You can find it on YouTube, Google, all the Vimeo, basically all the platforms where you can buy or rent movies. And it's also still having a little ride on. We have a limited theatrical, and so it will still be programmed on the fall in September in one Cinema 6. So I'll keep you posted on that. And it's still going on festivals. So for people that are watching or listening from Los Angeles, it will be in the Greek Los Angeles Film Festival, and it will be at the Landmark Sunset Theater the 31 of May at 6 o'clock p.m. So if
Oh,
you
wonderful, wonderful. Everybody, please, if seek it out. It's just fun. You're going to feel great when you leave. Take your mother, take your sister, take take your father, take everyone. It's just a wonderful film, and it's not just for women. It's for men as well as women, and it's wonderful. I can't wait to see what you do next, Rachel. You have such a wonderful, powerful energy. So I just can't wait to see what you do next. And again, this is just a fun, beautiful, fun movie.
Thank you very much. Now I'm preparing my next movie that I hope to shoot this fall, that is called The Americans.
Great.
So
Can't
also a
wait to see
movie.
it. Well, we'll have you back on the show for that,
Thank you
for
so
sure.
much, Jen. Thank you. Have a good
Thank
day.
you
Bye,
so.
everybody. Bye.
Thank you. I appreciate it.